Welcome to Online Learning with me, Mom Jen, and this is a video on a lecture series in general physics.
In this video, we would be focusing on heat and temperature. So we'll try to explain the connection between the zeroth law of thermodynamics, temperature, and thermal equilibrium. Also, we would be defining thermal expansion and the different coefficients of linear and volume expansion. Eventually, we'll do some calculation on volume and length changes of solids due to changes in temperature. We'll define heat and heat capacity, and eventually we'll try to solve problems involving heat capacity and calorimetry. So from the different objectives that we had, so we would be dealing with thermodynamics today. Okay, so from the term itself, thermo and dynamics, so we would be dealing or we would be discussing the effects of heat, work, and energy on a system. So we have thermodynamics, ibig sabihin, yung we're dealing with heat in motion. Okay? Now, it is important to be familiar with the system and the surroundings. Okay? So, the system is actually the matter being studied, while the surroundings is everything else outside the system with which it interacts. Okay? So, again, your system is simply the collection of objects we examine. So, during a chemical reaction, okay, you could still remember, for example, here we have a flask. So, in the flask, so you now have a liquid inside. So that is the system. That's our focus. And then the surroundings would be the room or the laboratory. Okay. So example, if you could still remember in your chemistry class, in a chemical reaction, energy is either absorbed or released in the form of heat. Okay. Now, since we're already familiar with the system and the surroundings, let's classify now the different types of thermodynamic systems. So first, we have an open system. Siyempre, kung may open, we also have a closed system. And last, we have an isolated system. Okay? Now, in an open system, both matter and energy, okay, so we have heat and matter. Or for matter, we're talking about the molecules. So, pwede rin natin sabihin yung mass of the object or of the system is being exchanged with the surroundings. Okay? Now, yung energy dito, it can be in the form of heat or sometimes meron din kasamang light. Now, kailangan nating maintindihan na once you have an open system, there is now an exchange, okay, of both heat and matter. So, whatever it is in the system would go out of the surrounding, and whatever it is in the surrounding would go in the system. Okay? Now, for the closed system, only the energy is being exchanged with the surroundings. So, as you could see here, so meron siyang cover. Okay? So, yung mga sealed containers, these are your closed system. Okay? Now, last, we have the isolated system. So, in an isolated system, there is no matter and no energy being exchanged from the surroundings. So, as you can see, it is enclosed. So, walang pwedeng pumasok, wala ding pwedeng lumabas. Okay? So, example nito is yung mga well-insulated thermos or cooler or yung mga tumblers na dala niyo lagi sa school. Now, I have you a scenario. Example, you are in a coffee shop and you ordered a hot coffee and you notice that the barista is pouring a milk in your coffee. Now, I have three questions I want you to pause and analyze. Okay? So, meron bang heat transfer evident in the mixture of coffee and milk? So, kung meron man, what do you think is the direction of the heat flow? And after some time, what do you think will happen to the temperature of the coffee and milk mixture? Okay. So do you have now answers in mind? Now, in this scenario, yes, it is evident that there is heat transfer. So heat is transferred from a body of higher temperature to a body of lower temperature. Okay. Until they both attain thermal equilibrium. So after some time, yung ano natin, yung coffee and milk mixture would share the same temperature. Okay? Now, again, what do you think is the direction of the heat flow? So, sabi natin kanina, so the movement now or the direction of the heat flow is from the coffee to the milk. Okay? So, we mentioned thermal equilibrium. What is thermal equilibrium? So, thermal equilibrium, or in thermal equilibrium rather, systems are in thermal contact with each other, so they reach the same temperature in which there is no longer transfer of heat that is happening. Okay? So, ano yan? Wala nang nag-stop na yung transfer of heat. Ibig sabihin, balance na sila. Okay? Now, we've been mentioning temperature and thermal equilibrium. So we now have the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay? So the focus of this video is only the zeroth law of thermodynamics. So meron pa tayong ibang laws of thermodynamics. So syempre kung may zero, merong first, second, and third. But for today, we'll have zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay? So sabi sa zeroth law of thermodynamics, if two thermodynamic systems are each in thermal equilibrium with the third one, then they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay? So, ayan. So, if object A is in thermal equilibrium with B and A is also in thermal equilibrium with C, then yung B and C, they're also in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay? So, I have a meme for that para mas madali niyong matandaan. Okay, so ayan. So, sabi natin, we now have temperature. Okay, so yun yung ginagamit natin to um, quantify or to measure now the hotness or coldness. So, this is our elementary definition of temperature. So, it is the hotness or coldness of a substance and it is a measure of its temperature. Okay, now, since you are already in senior high, our definition now for temperature would be the average kinetic energy of the atoms and molecules in a substance. Okay? So, kinetic energy, gumagalaw yung ating mga molecules. So, if you could still remember your kinetic molecular theory, so, temperature yung gagamitin natin para ma-identify yung movement ng mga molecules natin. Okay? So, in physics, temperature indicates thermal equilibrium. So, when a substance is hot, it means it has a higher kinetic energy. Okay? So, kapag mababa ang kinetic energy, ibig sabihin nun, malamig yung substance natin. So, it is also right to say, or pwede natin sabihin na as temperature increases, the movement of the particles become high. And the faster they move, the more kinetic energy they have. Now, we have an instrument to measure temperature and we call that your thermometer. So you are familiar with these images or pictures. So I believe you also have this or at least one of these kinds of instruments. Okay, so yung isang thermometer, yung digital thermometer natin sa umpisa, so it is um, the auxiliary thermometer we use to check our body temperature at home. Then we also have this, yung infrared thermometer. So, ito nauso to nung pandemic. Okay, kasi kailangan no contact with each other. Okay. Then we also have the alcohol thermometer and the mercury thermometer. Okay. So, ito mas common siyang ginagamit sa mga laboratories. So, ano na 'to, tina-try ng tanggalin yung mercury and alcohol thermometer because ano siya, sometimes it is ano 'to, yung dangerous or toxic kapag nabagsak, okey? So, yung digital thermometers, they use the principle of changes in electrical resistances. So, yung mga ano natin, itong alcohol thermometer and mercury thermometer, ano siya, ginagamit siya because it has a higher coefficient of thermal expansion. Meaning, it expands more per degree temperature. Okay? So, nade-detect niya ngayon yung change ng temperature. Okay? Now, question. Why are there small gaps left in between rails. So if you have tried, kung may naka-experience sa inyo sumakay sa LRT or sa MRT, sometimes you would see the railways. Okay, makita niyo sa reels na hindi siya yung continuous na dikit-dikit. Okay? So, bakit kaya may small gaps in between? So, the small gaps are there to allow now for thermal expansion. Okay? So, when the temperature rises, yung mga metal rails natin, they have the tendency to expand. So, kung walang gaps dyan, the rails could buckle up or bend due to expansion. Okay? So, another, I have here electric wires. So, ito, I think di nyo naman to na-observe sa summer, pero most of the electric wires, they sag during summer because there is an increase in heat in the temperature and it causes them to expand. So, as the temperature increases, yung mga wires natin, they tend to lengthen and loosen. So, kaya siya nagsasag. Pero in cold weather, ano siya, they contract and become tighter. Okay? So, so we can, itong concepts na to, these are in applications of thermal expansion. Okay? So, thermal expansion is the tendency of matter to expand on heating and contract when cooled. Or simply, this is the tendency of expansion observed in solids, liquids, and even gases. Okay? So, example natin yung sa thermometer natin kanina. So, yun, yung mercury doon sa loob ng thermometer, nag expand siya kapag nalagay sa hot water or in somewhere hot. So, nag expand siya, umaakyat ngayon yung level. So, nababasa natin yung temperature. Okay? So, for thermal expansion, we have here a diagram showing now the movement of the particles before and after the application of heat. Okay? So, before expansion, yung mga particles, they vibrate a little and they're in fixed positions. Pero after application of heat, nagkakaroon ng increase in kinetic energy vibrations. So, syempre, nagva-vibrate siya. And they also vibrate in a fixed position. So, medyo nag-expand yung solids. Now, I have here a meme. Sorry, this video would be full of memes. So, sabi dyan, it's too hot. Sabi ni Winnie the Pooh. So, this meme, na-adapt ko lang siya nakita ko lang siya sa social media. So, just wanted to share this here. So, we have now, the other one, sabi, the molecules are moving fast. And yung last part, the molecules have high kinetic energy. So, pwede niyo sabihin siguro, sa summer, instead na magko-comment kayo na, ano ba yan, ang init naman. So, pwede niyo sabihin para mas sophisticated kayo pakinggan na, uy, yung molecules ng yung gas molecules, they have very high kinetic energy. Oh, 'di ba? Ang saya. Now, going back to the discussion, we have two kinds of thermal expansion. We have what we call the linear expansion, which is simply the change in length when an object is heated. And we also have the volume expansion. So this is simply the three-dimensional change. Okay? So ano example ng natin ng linear expansion? So yung mga metal rods, okay yung sa railways. So humahaba sila when exposed to heat. Okay? So sa naman natin, sa volume expansion, 3D to, ibig sabihin yung length, width, height, nag-e-expand siya. Okay? So, pwedeng example nito, yung mga metal balls o kaya mga containers na medyo nag-increase in size kapag nainitan. Okay? Or, another example, ito kasi nagiging obsolete na siya. Pero when cellphones, before yung mga batteries, pag nainitan sila, when they're overcharged, 'di ba, nag-e-expand sila. So, hindi lang siya one dimension yung expansion, but siya, 3D. Okay, so lumalaki, lumulobo. So yun, that's an example of volume expansion. Okay? Now, these two expansions can be expressed using now, syempre, formulas. Okay? Oh, but before we go to the formulas, so different materials would have their coefficient of linear expansion and coefficient of volume expansion. So these are constant values. So no need to memorize this. So ayan, for aluminum, we have 24 times 10 raised to negative 6 or 24 times 10 raised to the negative 6th power, etc. So gagamitin natin to later on. Now, ito yung may meme. So, kilala niyo naman si Drake. So, yan, sabi diyan, building bridges without expansion gaps. Then, yung second one, designing with thermal expansion in mind. So, as STEM students, yung mga future civil engineers dito, yan, kailangan mayroon kayong background on thermal expansion. Okay? So, same thing dito sa railway engineer. So, yan. Yung isa, yung girlfriend niya, ini-ignore yung expansion gaps. And naging attracted siya dun sa someone who considers tracks bending in the summer heat kasi yun yung mas kailangan natin. Okay? Nakailang meme na ba tayo? Now, eto na yung formula. So, for linear expansion, chine-check natin yung delta L or the change in length. And then, so, our formula is delta L is equal to alpha multiplied to L sub 0 multiplied to delta T, where delta L is the change in length. The alpha is the coefficient of linear expansion. L sub 0 is the original length, and delta T is the change in temperature in degrees Celsius. Okay? Kalimutan ko pala yung mention kanina. We now have different units for temperature. So we have degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, and we have Kelvin. So si Kelvin yung SI unit, but in physics, ang gagamitin muna natin for this, for the linear expansion, would be the degree Celsius. Okay? Now, for volume expansion, so we now have delta V. So, almost same siya with the formula for linear expansion. Ang difference lang is, syempre, yung isa linear, length lang yung tinitignan. Sa volume expansion, yung volume, and then, we have the beta as the coefficient of volume expansion. Okay, as mentioned, so yung alpha and beta natin, so these are constant values. Okay? So let's try solving one problem. A steel water pipe is 15 meters long when installed by a Malolos Water District worker on a day when the weather is cold at 23 degrees Celsius. So what would be the length of the pipe if the temperature rose to 35 degrees Celsius during summer? So the coefficient of linear expansion of the steel is provided as 11 times 10 raised to negative 6th power. Okay? So, pause the video, copy the given variables, and try to solve on your own. Now, let's solve the problem. So, again, we write the given value. So, we have the initial length as 15 meters, initial temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, final temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, and we now have the alpha. So, ito yung constant natin. So, we would be using the formula for the change in length. So, we plug in our values to arrive now at an answer of 1.98 times 10 raised to negative third power. Okay? Now, tapos na ba yung sagot or yung natin solution? We don't stop there kasi ang tinatanong sa atin is the length. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, we're simply adding the initial length plus the change in length. Okay, so that would be 15 meters plus 1.98 times 10 raised to the negative third power. So that would be 15.00198 or simply 15.002. The final unit would be meters. Okay, kailangan pa ba mag-convert ng units? For example, meter po binigay, kailangan pa ba mag-convert to kilometers? No need. Okay? Kasi wala naman tayong susundin na dito. Parang walang standard na unit. So, kung ano yung binigay sa problem, yun na yung gagamitin. Unless, hiningi sa inyo na i-convert nyo siya. Okay? Now, let's try solving one problem on volume expansion. Sample problem. Ayan. So, a gasoline tank in a car has a capacity of 60 liters at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, if the tank is fully filled without a cover, how much gasoline will overflow if the car is left in the sun and the gasoline reaches a temperature of 45 degrees Celsius. So the coefficient for volume expansion of the gasoline is 9.6 times 10 raised to the negative fourth power. Again, pause the video, copy the variables, and try to solve before proceeding with the solution. Now let's solve it. So let's write the given value. So we now have the initial volume as 60 liters, the initial temperature as 20 degrees Celsius, final temperature of 45 degrees Celsius, and the coefficient is 9.6 times 10 raised to negative fourth power. So solution natin. So delta V is equal to, yan, plug in lang natin yung value. So 9.6 times 10 raised to negative fourth power multiplied to 60 liters multiplied to 45 minus 20 degrees Celsius. So essential na nilalagay niyo yung units, okay? Para ano natin, alam nyo. Final unit would be, final answer is 1.44 liters. So, since ang tinatanong sa atin ay gaano kadami daw yung mag-overflow, ito yung change. So, matatapon yung 1.44 liters ng gasolina. Alright. Now, learning check. Pause the video and try to answer this following problems. Okay, so first problem, a concrete slab is 10 meters long at 30 degrees Celsius. So if the weather is cold, what would be its length at 12 degrees Celsius? Second question, a 200 ml Pyrex glass flask is filled to the brim with ethyl alcohol. So its coefficient of volume expansion is 1.12 times 10 raised to the negative fourth power at 20 degrees Celsius. So, how much alcohol overflows when the temperature of the system is increased to 100 degrees Celsius? So, now let's solve the problem. So, let's have the first problem first. So, again, we write the given value. So, we now have the initial length of 10 meters, initial temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, and a final temperature of 12 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, kasama din yung ating coefficient. Now, substituting our value, so we now have 12 times 10 raised to the negative 6th power multiplied to 10 meters and multiplied to the difference of 12 and 30. Okay, so 12 minus 30 ay negative 18. Okay. So, therefore, ang answer natin here for the change in length would be negative 0.00216. So, since ang hinahanap again sa atin ay yung final length, so we're going to add the 2. So, that would be 10 meters minus 0.00216. Final answer would be 9.99784 meters. Now, may bearing ba itong mga changes, itong ating thermal expansion? As you can see, very minimal lang yung change. Kasi pag ni-round off mo siya, magiging 10 meters pa rin. But still, we consider that. Okay, especially in construction. Now, for the second question, so our given values, we have an initial volume of 200 milliliters, initial temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, final temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Our beta is 1.12 times 10 is a negative fourth power. So we substitute the entire thing in our formula. The change in volume is 1.792 milliliters. So, yun yung matatapon sa ating, nag-overflow naman yung alcohol sa ating glass flask. Okay? So, yan. Now we're almost done with our discussion. So, one last concept. We have heat. Okay? So, heat is the thermal energy that flows from one object to another due to a difference in their temperature. So, kung naalala nyo doon sa ating coffee scenario a while ago, so, may heat flow, therefore may flow din ng thermal energy. Okay? So, heat is also known as the energy in transit and it is denoted by the symbol Q. So it is important to remember that your the system, okay, contains internal energy. Okay, so internal energy is the sum of all kinetic and potential energy of a substance. So, this is the total energy contained by the molecules in a substance. Now, take note that the internal energy is directly proportional to the temperature of a sample. So, kapag may high temperature, there's high internal energy. Now, remember, a substance does not contain heat. It contains internal energy. Now, yung internal energy na yan can increase due to heat transfer, friction, and sometimes even because of structural deformation. Okay? Now, kanina meron tayong kape, ngayon meron naman tayong baso ng tubig. Okay? So, consider this scenario. So, does it possess heat? And does it contain energy? So, think about it. So, you have a glass of water here. Okay? So, sabihin na lang natin na lukewarm na water or yung ano na, room temp na water. So, does it possess heat? So, no. There is no energy transfer due to temperature difference. Wala naman tayong ginagawa dun sa may baso, okay? So, heat is not contained and again, sabi natin, substance contain internal energy, not heat. Okay? So, does it contain energy? Nasabi na natin. So, yes. So, its molecules are in motion and it contains internal energy. Okay? Now, paano naman kung lagyan natin ng, we compare the two. Compare muna natin yung baso ng tubig at saka yung yellow, ice cubes. Okay? Now, how can you describe the internal energy present in these two substances? Now, so, yung water is in liquid form. So, alam natin na kapag liquid form siya, there's no definite shape. So, molecules are free to move. Therefore, it has high kinetic energy. Comparing it to our ice, so ice has a lower temperature, meaning it also has a lower internal energy. So, comparing the two, so si water yung mas madami or mas mataas yung kinetic energy compared to ice. Alright? Now, last scenario. Pagsamahin natin yung dalawa. What do you think will happen to the internal energy of each substances when ice and water comes in thermal contact with each other? So, when ice and water comes in thermal contact, energy will flow between them until they reach the same temperature. Okay? So, ano nangyari dyan? So, yung warmer substance, so yung water, will lose the internal energy because it transfers the heat to the colder substance. Okay? So, the colder substance now, yung ice natin, will gain internal energy because it absorbs heat from the water. So, ano nangyayari? So, the ice melts, meaning yung internal energy ngayon ng ice increases enough to break the bonds between its particles. And eventually, the water cools down. Pero syempre, gradual pa rin yun. Hanggang sa ma-reach natin yung thermal equilibrium wherein they have the same temperature. And at the same time, yung energy transfer will stop. Okay? So, ano nangyari dito? So, the ice gains internal energy by melting and the water loses its internal energy. So, ibig sabihin, lumalamig siya. Okay, so energy also flows from a hotter to colder temperature until thermal equilibrium is achieved. Okay, now we have specific heat capacity. Okay, so it tells us how much heat a substance needs to warm up. Okay, so it is the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Again, ito yung kailangan na amount ng heat para uminit yung isang substance. Okay? So, it is, different objects have different capacities for storing internal energy. Okay? So, ito yung mga specific heat capacity of some substances. So, it is already known. So, these are constant values. Na kung hindi natin alam, pwede natin siya ma-compute using this formula. Q is equal to mc delta T, where Q is the amount of heat, m is the mass of an object, C is the specific heat capacity, and delta T is simply the change in temperature. Now, the amount of heat is proportional to the mass. So, kapag mas malaki yung mass, mas kailangan natin ng higher temperature to raise, or higher heat rather, to raise its temperature. Okay? So let's just solve one problem here. So yan, bago ko makalimutan, we have calorimetry. So it is the quantitative method of measuring heat exchange, and it conforms to the law of conservation of energy. So tandaan natin, the heat loss is equal to the heat gain. Therefore, the amount of heat gained is equal to the amount of heat lost. Ay, yun lang din yun. Ginamit ko lang yung symbol na Q. Okay, sample problem na tayo. Okay, we now have calculate the heat needed to heat up a 2 kilogram copper from 30 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius. So, solving this, ayan, I have here the entire solution. So, we write the given. So, I have a mass of 20 kilograms. The temperatures are 30 and 80 degrees. And I have now the value of C as 387 joules per kilogram degree Celsius. Okay? So, plugging in our value. So, I have now Q is equal to 2 kilograms times 387 joules per kilogram degree Celsius, multiplied now to the difference of 80 and 30 degrees. So the Q, or the amount of heat needed, is 38,700 joules. Okay, last part. So I want you to challenge yourself and try to answer this problem. What will be its final temperature if 3 times 10 raised to the fourth power joules of heat is transferred to a 1 kilogram block of aluminum initially at 10 degrees Celsius? So for this, ang gagamitin nyo na value of C is equal to 900 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius. Okay? So that would be all. Challenge yourself. Ito ang inyong online assignment.
Do you have any questions regarding our topic? Feel free to place them in our comment box. That's all for this video.